about to though.
All
I
right,
got the
man.
numbers.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, bro. Hey, man. Thanks for being able to sit down tonight and do this, though.
All right, no doubt about it, man.
Hey, man. Did you have a nice first?
Say that one more time.
Did you enjoy your first, the New Year?
I don't really like get into the whole hype of like the New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah, that's smart, man. I need to work on that because all I did was get drunk and that was silly, you know.
I mean, that's what most people do. I mean, but I'm just saying, like for me, it's not. I don't know. I look at it a little differently than most people, I guess.
Right on. Man, you know what, man? I had no choice but to go back and watch that the Compton City G's video again. And
Okay.
you know what, man? Growing up and listening to you and watching you, you were like the really only guy who was really from the street, as people.
Right.
I remember, you know, the Dog Pound. They had that "What Would You Do" video, and
Right.
it was like you really brought that street presence from Compton to the big screen to the mainstream. And
Right.
a lot of the other guys, they were on there, but they didn't really have the sort of background that you had came with. You know.
Right. That's very true. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I was really and you know, during those years for me, I was really out there involved with all the madness that was going on in the streets at the time, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I guess it kind of exuded from my personality, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it just came out and everybody knew it. I mean, like people in LA that's from my age group or whatever, now you can go to any part of LA and kind of pretty much ask somebody about me and they can tell you like, yeah, like he be around here and I'm from Compton. You know what I mean? So back, you know, to come from like my era, you can't just be known like where you're from. Like that's not enough. You know, you got to hit all of LA, West LA, East LA, South LA. You know what I mean? Long Beach, Carson, Compton, Watts, South Central. Like you got to be everywhere. Like, and you know, my reputation kind of preceded itself. You know, before the music thing. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
Yeah, and you know, you said you had spent a lot of time in your life also in Watts, and isn't Watts kind of like a backyard of Compton in a way? Like
I mean, both. I mean, they're the backyard of each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're twin cities basically for the most part. They right next to each other. So you know, like the borderline is like just a street light. You know what I mean? Like I can be standing on one at the street light in Compton, and once I cross the street, it's Watts. You know, it's like that. So Compton and Watts got a unique relationship. You know what I mean? Because for the most part, most people from Compton got family in Watts and vice versa. You know, that's just the way it is. So Compton and Watts has just always been like close knit like that.
Yeah, and a thing that a lot of people don't realize about Compton is you can grow up in Compton, and there's some people who might never leave Compton. They might live there. I talk to people who live there their whole life, and they never even been to the beach.
That's true. Some people are like that. Like people get, you know, people kind of like entrap themselves, you know, through their own mentality. Like, you know, this is where I'm from. This is where my whole life is, and they feel like, you know, for whatever reason that's how they're gonna live their life. But I was always the type of guy. Okay, I'm from Compton, but I'm gonna venture out. I'm gonna go see what's cracking in LA. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go over here and see what's cracking down on this side of town by Venice.
Not only that,
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
I was gonna say, not only that, I saw recently you were doing tours in Europe. I mean, you.
Yeah, that's new. I mean, since 2011, I think the first place I went was Japan. So after going to Japan, I think I went to Amsterdam. I went to Belgium. I went to a few places now. I think I've been in like 9 different countries so far. You know.
Right.
So yeah, now that's what I'm doing. Now I'm trying to make my round in other parts of the world, you know, for the people who's been waiting for us for all this time, you know? Because when Easy was alive, we didn't get a chance to do like a international tour.
Right.
So, all our overseas fans, they just now, 20-something years later, they just now getting to see, even, and it's just been me. It ain't like, Easy's dead. My brother's on parole. He can't go. A lot of the people that were on Ruthless at the time, they got their own lives,
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm just taking the opportunity myself and still representing everybody else too, And the opportunity is there for everybody, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like being the only person going, but I do, I take the advantage of it because it's like, I'm not going to pass the opportunity up because everybody else can't come right now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Yeah. You know what? With the Death Row camp, when they were doing their thing, it seemed so different than what you guys were doing because a lot of really talented artists got pushed to the background in Death Row when Pac came to the scene.
Absolutely true.
Like, OFTB.
Uh-huh.
It seems like, he was on like a Tupac soundtrack to the movie Gang Related, and he seemed to have been more talented than that.
OFTB was a group. It was three guys in OFTB.
Right.
Operation from the Bottom, it was 3 dudes. So they were from Bunny Hunter, they from Watts. They were Bloods. I know them dudes, you know what I mean? But I mean, that's true. It happened. Big Stretch. Stretch was over there. Who else was over there, man? There was a lot of dudes over there that kind of got overshadowed. Even Tech Nine. Tech Nine, the rapper Tech Nine was on Death Row at one point.
MC Hammer?
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
But with you guys at Ruthless, I was watching on Arsenio Hall. I mean, Easy brought you guys. You guys were out there right on front stage. I mean, Ruthless kind of just did it wide open. It wasn't no, hidden department.
It wasn't no hierarchy. Yeah.
it was just kind of like if you're with it, you're with it.
Pretty much. And then Easy wasn't. In his time too, he wasn't really just trying to focus just on gangster rap because he had like the At Band Clan, which is today will.i.am with the Black Eyed Peas. He had this group called Yo More and Marky. He had the guy Stefan. Stefan is still around. And these dudes was like, they were hip hop, but they had their own brand of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't really just focused on gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? He was giving everybody like a shot. You know what I mean? He gave all type of people a shot at getting out there. Hoes with attitudes. You know what I mean? That's not gangster rap.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So he was just, he was like on some next level type of shit, man. He wasn't just focused on his genre of music. He was focused on music as a whole.
He struck me as the type of guy who rapped just because he could. Like they said in the beginning, people had to kind of push him into being a rapper. He didn't really want to do it at first or something. I had heard that.
I mean, he probably didn't, man. I mean, because naturally, no, he wasn't. You know what I mean? But I think that once he got a little taste of it, I think he started liking it after that. You know what I mean? Once he figured out like his voice was unique and that he can actually, lay a song, you know what I'm saying? A song that people would gravitate towards. I think once he seen that effect, because Boys in the Hood was an underground song before it ever went to mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So as a little kid in Compton, I used to hear people play it. You know what I mean? Like you can ride around because back in Compton in those days, a lot of people had these trucks. They was like Blazers, and they would be roofless, like topless. You know what I mean? Like it don't have no top on it, so they can like take the top off manually, put the top in their garage, and they ride around with these big woofers. These big subwoofers in the back, just blasting music. So I used to hear that song like blasting all through Compton as a kid in the '80s, and everybody was like, "That shit hard." You know what I'm saying? Like we all thought it was just the shit. And it was mainly his voice. Like everybody gravitated towards it was his voice. Like he had a unique ass voice, and that's like for me. Besides Mixmaster Spade, King T, Tidy T, and all those guys, There's some other Compton pioneers too. Easy just kind of went mainstream before everybody else did.
Right on, right on. And the whole legacy. One of the biggest things that's been hard for me to get a concept of is you guys are in Compton and you guys come from like Easy. You guys all come from sort of the Crip set, right?
Right.
And I heard Easy was from Kelly Park.
Yeah.
And
pretty much, yeah.
And when I talk to people from LA, it's so funny because I hear the word Crip, and then when I talk to people, sometimes people don't get along with each other. It like somebody
That's
like
true.
Somebody will be like, he's from West 73rd and South Central, and he's from
right.
over here in Long Beach, and we don't get along. It's hard for me coming from the Midwest to conceptualize it, but you guys can live on a street right next to somebody and still not get along.
Absolutely. That's usually how it is. Like, because you know how they say that, they got all types of sayings, obviously, but one of them is keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they always say too, like the person you're likely to be murdered by somebody that you're close to. Right?
Yeah, that's very true.
So, it's the same thing with gangbanging. It's like the people who are closest, the neighborhoods who are closest, are usually the ones who end up killing each other.
Right.
Because they're so close to each other. You know what I mean? Like in Compton, my neighborhood, all our enemies are like right around. Like it's everybody that's next door. You know what I'm saying? There's some few people down the street, down a ways where you got to drive maybe 3-4 minutes up, up Alondra. But I'm saying like most of our enemies is our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that for all the gangs, really. Like people beef with the people that's closest to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just the way it is, yeah.
And that being so, was it difficult for Easy to kind of have so much? I mean, he had a lot of love from people from all over, such as you're from what I understand, you're from the Nutty side. And
yeah.
I talked to an older guy. He said he was from Boot Hill. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, Boot Hill was the original. Boot Hill was like the original Compton, the first Compton Crips ever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then from Boot Hill came the Grandies, and then all the Compton Crips stemmed from this one gang. You know what I mean? Everybody just basically went out and branched off and started their own gang individually for whatever reason that they chose to do it. But that's my neighborhood. Is that we originated all the Compton Crips, like.
And exactly, and that's kind of coming from the legacy of the Panthers a little bit. Do you think?
Definitely, all of it. I mean, gangs, period, come from that because they wasn't in the beginning. The gangs weren't necessarily what they are today.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Panthers had what they had going. They was fighting injustice and all these different things, and they had other little splinter groups. In the Crips were called the Baby Cribs back at that time. They were like they was basically saying we're the Panthers' children, like we're the offspring of the Panthers, basically. And what happened was, how the media always get involved and write up stories, you know what I mean? And then we have the COINTELPRO mindset before COINTELPRO. They were always trying to figure out ways to disband and dismantle things that black people had going on anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So they wrote it up in the LA Times, and they put Crip instead of Crib. You know what I mean? And then people in the media took that and they, just started running with it. And so the term kind of stuck, and people just kind of ran with the term like, fuck it, well, they call us Crips, well, we Crips then. You know what I mean? And I think they were kind of playing on the way people walked back then. You know how the gangsters walk with that little, with the little bop.
Yeah.
The real deep walking is kind of like like a crippled person, basically. And I think they were trying to, like, slander them, some type of way. And the shit just stuck. And people ran with it. And then when Raymond Washington and people like that, when they came, they transformed the mentality, the Panther mentality, which was supposed to be like a black thing, and they transformed it into some gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, it went from being pro-black and, self-help to some, okay, this our neighborhood. We're going to control what's going on this side of town. And we're going to we're going to walk on the other side of town and see if, if these motherfuckers is tough like us, you know what I'm saying? So it went to some other shit. Like it went way into some. It went kind of left, to be real.
Yeah, do you think that rumor? There's always been a rumor saying the CRIP could have stand for Community Revolution and Progress. I remember I was asking you that last time, and you were in Walmart or something, and the phone cut out. But
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what that's what people say, man. Because I mean, even still, even with the gang thing transforming from the pro-black thing, thing like that, I think they still tried to make it mean something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that term I don't know exactly where that term originated from, but it's possible. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say that it doesn't, but I don't really know for sure. And then the term blood's supposed to have a meaning too, but I don't really know.
Right.
I really don't know. Yeah.
One thing about you, man, you guys, I remember when I saw that thing of you at the golf course. How you guys over there in L.A., man, in Compton, you're from Compton, Watts. Over here in the Midwest, like Michigan, where I am, Detroit, Chicago, areas like that. I'm from Muskegon, but sort of the big cities where we're at, people grow up and they fight and they slap box and stuff for fun. You guys don't do that. You guys actually just go 1-on-1 or 3-on-1.
No, we used to do all of that. We've done it all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. We used to slap box and all that shit. All that shit really kind of went out the window when after guns and shit came involved, came in the picture with us down in the city. People still do, kids still kind of grow up like that, but like motherfuckers get too serious down our way now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like before, it used to be that way. You used to be able to have a fight. You can get jumped by a gang and get stumped out, kicked in the face, hit with a bat. But you might get your arm broke, your nose broke, your head busted, but you gonna live, And then when the guns came, all that type of shit just kind of went out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Like nowadays, you can get into a fight inside of a concert or a club. It'll start off as a fight, and motherfuckers gonna fight their ass off. But once everybody get outside and get to their cars, then motherfuckers got guns in the car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, it's that type of thing now. You know what I'm saying? That whole mentality. Don't nobody want to lose no more. You know what I mean?
You think it's calmed down a little bit since your era? Because you grew up when it was really cracking back in the 80s.
Yeah, it calmed down a lot. I mean, it's still crazy. It's still crazy. Motherfuckers are still, plotting evil and doing it.
Right.
But it's definitely calmed down a lot. Hell yeah. Because during my era, it was always go. It was go all the time. You know what I mean? It wasn't really no break period. Like, it was just constantly. Like, them is our enemies, we going to try to kill them all. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, our era was like that. Now it's like, okay, yeah, them the enemies, but we ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? They don't say nothing to us, we ain't going to say nothing to them. They don't shoot at us, we ain't going to shoot at them. So in my era, it was like, no, them the enemies, they got to die. You know what I mean? So It was like that type of thing, yeah.
You know what really hurt me to see, man, was the rivalry between the Hispanic community and the black community.
Yeah, that was some bullshit, man. That was some shit that came down from the dudes in prison, man. Like, that shit stemmed from some prison shit because it was basically the Hispanics in prison recognizing that they had the numbers on everybody and them trying to push their line. It was like, well, now we're gonna make our presence known because it's more of us than everybody else. So we're gonna put our foot down. You know what I mean? But it was stupid because we all in the same community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, that was the sad part about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and anywhere you go and you find a large Hispanic population, there's going to be a black community close by usually.
Usually, yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
And it's so crazy. I mean, because it didn't used to be like that. Like, we used to really kick it. Like, I know of the days when we used to kick it with the essays, like hanging out, drinking from the same bottle, smoking the same joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know those times existed. And the way shit went left, you would think that we never got along. You know what I'm saying? But we used to really actually get along, like real close.
Right.
There's even some black gangs that have their gang is the South, like the Grape Street Watch. They have Southside Grape Street Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's another black gang called Nut Hood Watch. They have Southside Nut Hood Watch. It's the same gang, but they have a black unit and a Hispanic unit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that lets you know that the shit wasn't always the way it was, because if you really hated another black, you're not gonna claim a South Side of his hood. Like, come on now. So, it was never that hate came from some other shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, man. Like, we all the same people, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we all getting a bad rap. The police want to put us all in jail. We all struggling to survive in America. What sense would it make to kill each other?
Exactly.
Unless we doing what the powers that be want us to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Hey, man, BG, you had opportunities to make it on other labels too. You told me before how the Banging on Wax thing. You had
Banging on Wax. Jermaine Dupri entertained the idea of signing me back then too. When I went to Atlanta for the first time with E, we was in a club, and this is when he had the Brat in her beginning stages and shit like that. And a lot of people try to deal with me, outside of Eric. They try to snatch me from him.
Mm-hmm.
Even Suge tried to sneak up under me, or get people that he knew that can come around. Dudes from the blue side, try to get them to slide contracts to me and shit, and all type of shit. So, I definitely had that opportunity.
Isn't Suge from Compton? I had heard that. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, he from Compton. Suge from Compton. He from out the blood side of Compton, though.
Yeah.
Pyru. Mm-hmm.
You know what, man? And I never met the man in person. I never been around him, so I'm not gonna say, if he had confronted me with a few guys, I'm pretty sure I'd be intimidated as hell. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, Suge had a lot of, I ain't gonna put his business out there, but
yeah,
Suge, the people Suge rolled with, it wasn't no joke. I ain't gonna say it was him per se, but he had some people around him, what I'm saying, that was known for being about that life,
Right.
And yeah, but, you don't be stupid, don't be scary, but at the same time, be smart about what the fuck you do when you fucking with that dude.
Right on. And other than Easy, I mean, you and Drace are only the only people I know of that actually really went up against Death Row.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else didn't want that problem. You know what I mean?
That's how
we already kind of knew, and Suge knew too. Like, everybody knew that. Like, my neighborhood don't play that shit. You know what I mean? Like, everybody can say what they want, and yeah, everybody can die, everybody can shoot, everybody can kill, but we was actually doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And on a large scale, and everybody knew. So, motherfuckers knew that if they came fucking with us, it was going to really be a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Suge knew that.
I think
my hood in Compton at that time was the loudest thing. Like, boy, didn't nobody really want that problem with us. You know what I mean? We was a bunch of young niggas with a lot of energy. And people knew that shit. So motherfuckers would rather be up under us than to have conflict with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was
like
pretty
real shit.
And it was very intense. At that time, like when I saw the DPG Killer, the video you came out with, I could see the rivalry strong, like on your faces. I can tell, man. You guys were doing a video, but there was some heat there.
Oh yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We don't, There's one thing. I mean, like right now when I look back in hindsight, man, like I really laugh about a lot of shit, and I'm kind of grateful that I survived those times. I'm grateful that I survived those times, man. I'm grateful that, I didn't get away with everything that I was doing. I had to go and learn and get disciplined for some of the stuff that I did. I'm grateful for all those experiences, man. But just when I look back on it, man, I just be thinking like, fuck, why can't I have been smarter than that in those times? You know what I'm saying? Because the smart thing would have been to sit down with those dudes, even back then. You know what I'm saying? Sit down, because we was all young black men, man, trying to really better our lives, better our situation in life. That's really what we was really trying to do. And I didn't know Snoop Dogg. I didn't know Dr. Dre. I didn't know Daz. I didn't know Corrupt. I didn't know those guys. So why would I have a problem with them? You know what I mean? So that whole thing, I was taken up because E put me on. So I took up his beef. The same thing Snoop Dogg did with Dr. Dre. He didn't know fucking Easy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have no beef with Easy. He was a fucking child. Him and E ain't even the same age. They ain't even in the same age bracket.
Yeah.
You know, and then Snoop is from Long Beach, and we never got along with Long Beach. Compton and Long Beach haven't been getting along since like 1985. You know what I'm saying? Like some old shit from when I was a fucking child. I was 10 years old when Compton and Long Beach had that little beef going on. It was all stemmed from a concert that, you know what I'm saying, it was called the Fresh Fest or whatever. And they had a big ass brawl. So that fucked up the whole relationship Compton and Long Beach even had. You know what I mean? But Snoop was a fucking kid like me.
Yeah.
So he basically took on Dr. Dre's beef with Easy. I took on Easy's beef with Dr. Dre and him. You know what I mean? But the smart thing would have been for us to sit down like men and come together and all get money together. Because the government want to see young black men kill each other. That's what they want.
Of course. Yeah. Of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And why the fuck should we play into that? Why should anybody knowingly play into a trap? You know what I mean? It's like that one thing they show on TV. When they send the bait cars out, you know, like they'll put a car with a key in it, a brand new car just parking on the street with a key in it, in a neighborhood where they know 9 times out of 10 somebody walk by and see it, gonna jump in the motherfucker and drive off. But it's entrapment, because what you gonna do? You're gonna turn the car off once they get a few miles up the street, and then send the cops to take them to jail. So basically, that's what we were doing, playing into that type of game. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm not really proud of that, man. Like, to keep it 100 with you, like, you know, it is what it is, and I don't regret nothing that I've done. But I'm just saying, I'm not really proud of me playing into that whole concept of self-destruction. You know what I'm saying? Genocide. You know, because that shit is not cool. Nobody in their right mind is gonna kill off their soldiers. You know what I mean? People that I mean, you know.
And you know what, man? I think it's difficult for a lot of the new generation that are coming along listening to rap to really feel that, because they didn't, you know, at that era in the early 90s and mid 90s, it seems like that's all it was a lot of controversy. You know?
That's what they wanted.
Right.
It was good for business.
Good for business.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, and then they're the ones who's sitting back and reaping all the rewards. You know what I'm saying? While Pac and Big is laying in the grave. You know what I'm saying? People like Freaky Ty and them from the Lost Boys and all. You know, a lot of people died over silly shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It was life lost. You know, good people, you know, lost their lives. Why these people who are fueling the controversy, who are making all this shit possible to happen, are sitting back and they're safe in their houses. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that shit is not cool, man.
It's kind of funny to me how Dre now says that him and Easy were talking a couple weeks before Easy's death about possibly getting back together.
Man, Dre talked to E all the time. E can call Dre anytime he wanted, man. Them dudes live right down the street from each other in Calabasas, bro.
So it's kind of
the whole time of the controversy. You know what I'm saying?
It seems like it's kind of funny to me, like maybe that has something to do with them coming back together. Like, you know, like...
No, they was always trying to do that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it was their egos in the way. You know what I mean? Because E, like, shit, in WA started on Ruthless, that's where it was going to stay, in his mind. You know, and now Dr. Dre, he got backing from Suge and all these other people, so he felt like, well, shit, I'm over here now, so, you know, I can make my own chess move. You know what I mean? And then Cube, I don't know what his position really was. He probably felt like it should have been on Lynch Mob or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their egos in a way that wouldn't allow that shit to happen. But they all wanted to. I mean, the smartest thing would have been to do it. Fuck where it come out at. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if y'all all got to sit down anyway and come back together as a group, all the paperwork would have been right no matter which label it came out on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because nobody would have agreed to a deal unless it was going to be fair all the way around the board. You know what I mean? But the smart thing, you know, and that's a lesson for other groups who have probably splintered off and broke up. Like, man, don't wait till somebody die, because then it ain't gonna be the same. You know, it's gonna be hard to have Bone Thugs and Harmony without a Busy Bone or a Crazy Bone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I think, man, if things had been different, I could totally see you guys had doing some stuff with possibly even Pac. You know,
absolutely.
Because Easy and Pac were cool. I saw a couple of pictures of them together, so they must have talked a few times.
Yeah, man, of course, man. Easy was a likable dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then he's a pioneer. Like, Easy is like Ice-T. You know what I'm saying? These dudes they pioneers of this whole game. Like, you know, so Pac is a youngster. You know, Pac is he's like the offspring of somebody like Eazy-E and NWA. You know what I mean? So everybody who came after that era, you know what I'm saying, who came after the 80s, you had no choice but to look up to somebody like Eazy. You know what I'm saying? So, and then Eazy just a likable person. His personality, you know, he's just a real down-to-earth person. He's very likable. He got charisma. You know what I'm saying? Everybody looked up to this guy, man, whether they like it or not. People looked up to him. I saw the way the people on the East Coast respected this man. KRS-One and all these people who are other pioneers. Like, I saw the way they respected him. Like, and, you know, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It seems like, you know, I've never spoken to the game. I don't know how he is. You know, I don't know the man personally, but I'm wondering, when we, like me, I'm not from, you know, I'm from the Midwest. When I look at you guys on the West Coast in Compton, and, like, I see the game, and he got, like, I think he got the Easy tattoo, and he had, like, he had the NWA chain. We kind of look at it like whoever is up there doing that, it's kind of like they have the blessing of Easy, and we don't really know what we're looking at, because guys like you, B.G. Knocc Out, like, you were kind of in the background, you know, 5 years ago, right?
Right.
Like, and we see the game, and we're thinking, like, okay, that's the new legacy of Easy. That's the new legacy of Compton. How do people know exactly what they're looking at when they look at Compton rappers? Like,
I mean, because this is the whole thing. Like, in Compton now, you have these people, man. Like, everybody is trying to ride that bandwagon, because, like, if you get solidified coming out of Compton, then it's like that's a big deal. Everybody know that. You know what I'm saying? Because Compton is not an easy place to be from. You know, if you survive the streets of Compton, even nowadays, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big fucking deal, because Compton is a very small place. You know what I'm saying? Compton is a little bitty ass city, bro. And it's very deadly and dangerous. You know what I mean? And everybody in LA know about this little place. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody know about this little place. It's not no joke. Like, this ain't no punk shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, to come from there, survive that shit, and then you come out in the music and then have everybody to.
Hey, man.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had left my gun in his bathroom, bro. I left my gun in my partner's bathroom, so I had to call him and make sure that he grabbed it before somebody else walked in there, you know?
Allegedly.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, you know, I know it's real over there with you guys, because I was planning on coming out there and trying to catch up with some of you guys, and I was networking with Gangster Bone from Atlantic Drive.
Okay, yeah, that's my homie.
Yeah, and I was trying to make sure everything was right, because my friend was telling me, let's just go out there, I said, no, you can't do that. You have to make sure the right people can insure you when you get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that would be the smart thing, because if you don't, then you come here and something happened, and how you going to know how to solve a situation like that?
Oh, it'd been over.
You know what I mean?
It would have been too quick.
Yeah, so if you got somebody, you know, that fuck with you, they can kind of offset a lot of problems for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if just in case, not saying that a problem will happen, you know what I mean? Because it's not always like that. But just in case, you know, that would be the smart thing to do, to give somebody who knows what's going on. You know what I mean? And that's anywhere you go. So
it's weird for me because where I'm at, like I'm mixed. I grew up in the black community half my life, and I grew up in the white community half my life.
yeah,
And like I was talking, I used to talk to Cy Nika, and I was networking with him, and we were supposed to hook up, and then he got out. I don't know what happened. He never got back with me. But
I think he started doing drugs actually.
oh man, I'm
Yeah,
sorry to hear that, man.
I think so. Yeah, because a lot of people were disappointed, man. Like a lot of people had a lot of faith in him, and was hoping that things were gonna change when because he's a major figure. He's somebody that is well respected on a whole lot of levels when it comes to the streets, and not only that, just being an intelligent black man and the changes that he made, the different things that he did, the book that he wrote. So people thought they had a lot of hope in him, and then when he came, I think he gravitated towards doing drugs, and I've seen that happen with a lot of people that's from his era too.
Mhm.
They did all that time in jail, and when they come home and they see how wicked things are now, you know what I'm saying? Because you lose sight of things when you're in jail for that long. You start to a lot of people who do that type of time in jail, they come home and shit changes so drastically.
Mhm.
And when you leave the streets now for a year, like shit be so different when you get back home, let alone doing 10, 20 years. You know what I mean? When you get back, it's like, fuck. Everybody that lived on your street probably moved away or dead or in jail with you. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
The way people hustled, you know what I'm saying? The hustle, the money was coming before you went. Like the money was good. You get back, that shit is literally like gone. You know what I'm saying? Like the dope game, like we used to all sell rocks because it was up right outside our door. It was the easiest way to make money. You know what I'm saying? So everybody got them a sack, and that shit kept money in your pocket, clothes on your back, food in your stomach. And then you get out in the 2000s, rocks ain't selling like they sold in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The market changed a
so
lot.
you be like, damn, so how I'm going to get some money now? And you just got out from doing all that time, so you don't want to really risk your freedom like that, by doing no robberies or doing some crazy shit. So It's like, fuck, and then you come home, don't nobody give you nothing. You know what I mean? So that for some people that do time like them, that should be like a super, it'd be like a major thing that goes on inside their psychology, man. And they end up gravitating towards drugs, like for whatever reason. I don't know, man. It's the craziest shit. But I've witnessed it a few times with a few people from the same era he's from.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason why I know. Because everybody be like, damn, what makes you want to smoke crack, bro? Like, everybody know that's not the thing to do. Like, that shit is crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you being one of them real guys, man. You guys haven't grown up in that era. A lot of people are pushing the name, like when you hear the word Compton or South Central or Crip or something. There's a lot of people out there pushing it, especially on the East Coast. You hear people now coming out claiming gangs. And people.
I'll be back.
There's a lot of people connecting themselves to the whole gang thing. They're making a lot of money off it, but they never really were from it.
Right. That's the thing too. Like, and I don't respect that. You know what I'm saying? And I think the people that are in the gangs should make them pay for it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't think because that's like being in Compton. Like, you can't claim you from somewhere and get away with that. Like, ain't nobody gonna let you just, you ain't really from Compton, but you claiming a Compton gang and nobody from the gang know you. They gonna see you about something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if they catch you, you gonna have to answer about it.
Hey, bro, that's what shocked me because I know how you guys are out there, man. So when I saw like Lil Wayne come to, I don't know if that was real Lil Wayne in a limo, but he came to see like I guess 40 Glock or something. Was
oh
like
yeah,
knocking on
but 40 Glock ain't even from that area, so
right.
I don't know. I don't even know how that even happened because 40 Glock is from San Bernardino.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Not to say that they're not nobody or nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. But for him to be in L.A., checking somebody in L.A., that's a no-go. So he was kind of in violation on that tip. You know what I mean? Like, he was in violation because you ain't from L.A. So you can't tell nobody who can be in LA and who can't. That ain't your job. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You're not a LA Crip. You a IE from the Inland Empire. Okay, if you catch Lil Wayne or whoever out there, yeah, that's your territory. Yeah, you can check whoever you want. But don't be in LA checking nobody. Like, you out of bounds your motherfucking self. You ain't even from over here. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So I didn't really understand that.
Hey, man, I saw you on that one tape. I think it was like, I hope I'm not wrong, but I think it was Spider Loc, and they had like Big
Yeah,
Face.
that's the homie.
Yeah, they had Big Face 100 on there with that dude, that light skinned
Oh
dude.
yeah, when he got knocked out. Yeah.
Hey man, I was tripped out. I heard you on the tape. You were like, I would have shot it right on the camera if that had been me.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, man, please. Either he was gonna have to beat my ass, cause I'm not finna. Ain't nobody finna sock me and I'm finna run from him, or none of that. Like, that shit ain't gonna never happen. And then either he was gonna have to beat me down to the ground, or he was gonna die on that camera. Like, seriously, like no real, like, man, come on.
Yeah,
that ain't gonna never happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't you, bro. Hey, but I think he should at least got a record deal, don't you think? Big Face 100. You think he should have like?
I mean, being his brother, man, he should have. Come on, man. His sister rap, his brother and his sister rap, and then his other brother was my homie from my neighborhood. His daddy is from my hood. His other brother, who died, back in the 90s or whatever, was from my neighborhood. And then surviving brother and sister, they spit, and you don't even got them on one song. You don't got them on a skit. You don't got them on a hook. Like, I don't understand that, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's hard for me to respect shit like that.
Yeah,
that's your fucking flesh and blood, man. No matter, people fall out with their family. Don't get me wrong, but you don't starve your family out when you got the opportunity to put them in a better position. Like I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
Yeah,
that's just something I don't understand.
And it seems like a lot of people just gotta make their own way a lot of times. Like I saw, OG Suicide.
Yeah, that's the homie. That's like my family right there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Suicide is like family to me. You know what I'm saying? He grew up with my sisters and my other brother, rest in peace. So, yeah, Suicide is like family. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I had heard, like, I didn't know how long he was rapping. It looked like he had been rapping a while.
Yeah, he's been around for a long, long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there
as long as any of us?
So was this sort of shocking to these people when you blew up? I mean, you just came, when you were growing up, and I remember you were still in high school, isn't it? When you were in the music.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just like, that particular thing, the way it happened with me and my brother. It's, there was nothing nobody could have predicted. You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of just happened. It was all based off a reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brother really. It probably was more so him than me, but my brother was in California Youth Authority, you know what I'm saying? And everybody, usually the young thugs and knuckleheads, who start gangbanging early like we do, they end up having to go through Youth Authority because, all the shit that they get into, you know what I'm saying? So everybody from LA, from all the way from San Diego to Oakland is going to end up in Youth Authority in California, you know what I'm saying? The young gangbangers. Going to end up in there. So my brother spending 5 years in there and having the talent that he did, that shit kind of proceeded. You know what I'm saying? It resonated from in there to the street. So everybody that was getting out was talking about Drayster, like Dre from Nutty, like that nigga hard. Like people like he could sing, he could rap. That nigga hard as fuck. Like he be doing talent shows and that motherfucker. Like so, like, this was the reputation that he had. You know what I'm saying? And once he came home, there was one of my homeboys named Big D. He actually got killed like some years ago. But anyway, he came home. He told his uncle, or his uncle was a ball and dope dealer from L.A. This is one of Eazy's closest friends. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he started telling his uncle about my brother. Like, man, that nigga Drayster finna get out. That nigga hard. You might want to go holler at him. You know what I'm saying? Because his uncle was thinking about starting to get in the business now. You know what I'm saying? So when my brother came home, they found out where we lived at. Him and another one of our homeboys that, that's older than us, of course, like around Eazy's age, that, they grew up together, and he was a dope dealer baller from the street. And they put up on my block and was like, yeah, man, we heard y'all rapping now. We was like, yeah, we rap. I was like, just let us hear something. So we spit for them or whatever. And we knew these niggas had money, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know these dudes. Like, so they was like, okay, well, y'all want to go to the studio? Like, be here tomorrow if y'all want to go fuck with the studio. But I didn't tell you we was going to fuck with Eazy-E or nobody. You know what I'm saying? So when they came, they took us to the studio. I wasn't there the first time. My brother was, but he came back home bragging about being in the studio with Eazy-E. And I'm like, what? Like, for real? You bullshit. He's like, man, this nigga started playing songs for me. I'm like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? Eazy is somebody we all idolize. You know what I'm saying? Coming from Compton anyway. Compton and Watts, period. So, you know, and it kind of just happened like that for us, you know?
Yeah.
It was nothing nobody could have predicted. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what, man? There's something about you that you manifested that into your life. Like, that didn't happen by chance, man. Like, something pulled, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because I wanted it. Like, I was really hungry. You know what I'm saying? My brother was in youth authority and all that. I was on the street, but I was going to, like L.A. had a bunch of little different outlets back in those days. Like, we got a lot of rappers from L.A. who never really make it on the big stage like that, but who are respected in the hip-hop circles because, you know, they can go bar for bar with the best of them. You know what I mean? So L.A. had always had these little places that they allowed people to come and showcase their talent. You know, it wasn't like no big thing. It wasn't like it was like no big budget type of deal or anything like that. Some of the shit was hole in the wall. You know what I'm saying? It'd just be you, a speaker, and a mic. You know what I mean? And a bunch of motherfuckers looking at you like, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? But I would always make my rounds to these places. You know what I'm saying? Because I was really like, fuck that. This is what I wanted to really do. So I would end up at these places. I would end up with, you know, I'm a little thug gangster rapper. I'm in here with straight hip-hop motherfuckers who using big words and all type of shit, but I'm right there like, shit, well, y'all gonna hear my side, too. You know what I mean? So I was everywhere, like, yeah, for real. I was everywhere trying to get on, man. I used to call people. I used to look in back at motherfuckers' tapes and shit like that, see who they management was, and they would have their phone numbers. I would rap on their motherfucking, on their voicemails, all type of shit. Like, I was trying all type of shit to get on. Like, I'm like, fuck that.
Oh,
like,
so
I can do it.
You were pushing. This wasn't just something that just came. Like, you were already pushing hard.
Yeah, I was pushing. Yeah, I was pushing for sure. Like, there's one guy who owned the apartments that me and my family lived in, me and my brothers and my mom and everybody. He was a cop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, outside of him being a apartment complex owner, he was a fucking cop. But he was Tone Loc's cousin. You remember Tone Loc?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Tone Loc's cousin. So Tone Loc used to always be in L.A. at Prince Club. You know, the singer Prince.
The Grand Slam, right?
The Glam Slam. You know what I mean? It used to be called Vertigo back in that time. But he used to have that fucking club. You know what I mean? And I was too young to even be in the fucking club. But guess what? He took me there one time. He introduced me to all these people. And them motherfuckers started allowing me to come before the club opened. As long as I show up before the club opened, they would allow me to sit in the club until the motherfucker opened. And I would already be there. You know what I'm saying? Up there, they used to have, like, open mics on certain days. I used to be up there getting trying to get my little name out there. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, I was everywhere trying to get on for sure.
Hey, BG, did you ever come across Baby Lane? I heard Baby Lane was rapping before.
That was my best friend. Nah, he didn't. Baby Lane wasn't no rapper.
Oh, he wasn't?
Nah.
They got a YouTube video on there.
He had started a label, though, but he wasn't no rapper.
Oh, okay.
He probably would clown and fuck around, but nah, that ain't nothing he wanted to do. He wanted to like run a label. He did want to do that, but he wasn't no rapper for sure.
You know what, man? That never made sense to me. How they tried to say they said Pac died and they tried to put it on him. That never added up to me to begin with.
Oh yeah, I mean, that there's a whole nother story behind that. Like, I don't even really like to talk about.
Yeah, I feel you.
That shit still affects his family today. Like, his mother is still pissed off about what transpired behind that. And, his uncle telling the whole little story about, I don't know if you know about that part, but his uncle supposedly went to the, supposedly was going to jail for a case. and in order to get out of the case, kind of confessed the whole story about what happened that night that Pac died out here in Las Vegas.
Damn.
And kind of said that his nephew was the one who pulled the trigger, which is Baby Lane. You know what I mean? So, I know the real story because that was my best friend. You know what I'm saying? He came to my house the next day after all that shit happened and told me that shit early in the morning. But I don't necessarily like to get into it because I respect my homie, whether he's dead or alive. I still respect him. And I never put him out there in no type of bad way. You know what I mean? And that's just real.
Man, you be out there, man. You know all these people, huh? Like all the people.
That's what I'm telling you about LA. There's no way you can be from LA and be somebody, you know what I'm saying, in the streets and not know these people.
Right.
There's just no way. There's no way. So that's why people don't respect Snoop and all these other dudes on that type of level, because we know they wasn't out there like that. We was out there. And if you was out there, we would have seen you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We would know who you are. You know what I'm saying? There's other legends, like myself and other people that's from the street. They don't rap, but we know who they are. You know what I'm saying? They ain't rappers, but we know exactly who they are. And they know who we are. You know what I mean?
You come across a dude I saw him on YouTube, Jamal. They call him Samson.
Where he from?
The big OG dude that used to be with Tookie and stuff. Big Jamal or whatever.
Jamal
or Jameel or whatever like that.
Jameel, yeah, of course.
Right. He I saw him on YouTube and he was up there saying that they owe him money or something. Like he was talking about some movie or something that came out. But
oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
A few of those guys are still around, like Barefoot Pookie.
Barefoot Pookie, yeah. They still be hanging out.
Hey man, you think that beef? It was kind of like a beef between Lil Kiki Loco, the Knots, and Banging on Wax people. The Knots was at the time in the early '90s. The Knots were on their tape saying that the Banging on Wax people were wrong for being on the same tapes with people that wore red. And it was kind of like, was that like?
I mean, people could say what they want, man.
Yeah.
Like seriously, people could say what they want, but you can't really make no other man. Like anybody that got any kind of balls in their draws, you can't really tell them who they can be with or who they can rap to or rap with. And you can't dictate nobody. LA ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? Chicago, all these other places, they have this little thing where they have to go through the people that's higher up than them and all that.
Yeah.
LA, that shit is over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't play that shit down our way. So if you allow another man to tell you who you can rap with and who you can't, then that's your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's really your fault. And you got to live with that. You know what I'm saying? But me, personally, can't nobody tell me who I can rap with, who I can't rap with, who I can talk to. Get the fuck away from me. You can't do me like that.
And that's the thing.
I wasn't raised that way.
Yeah, you guys are real, man. When you talk about LA, like Compton, Watts, all these places, it's real turf oriented. Like I know some neighborhoods they got more people that are Tongan or Samoan.
Right.
I thought they were Puerto Ricans at first. Then somebody told me they were like from some islands or something somewhere.
But, yeah, they Polynesian.
Right. But it seems like where you guys are at, it's the turf oriented thing is so strong, man.
Yeah, man, because people raised you to be men. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing about the gangs, where we come from, it was like how I have my own name. My brother has his own name. Everybody in my family, besides one of my uncles, we all have our own individual name because we was raised to be men, individuals. You know what I'm saying? And not saying like people didn't raise us to respect our elders and respect our OGs and stuff like that. No, I'm not saying that. But to be an individual yourself, you know what I'm saying? Don't always, not that you disrespect your OGs, but don't just follow behind somebody just because they older than you, or don't let just because somebody's an OG, don't let them just run over you and just do you or treat you any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? And that creates manhood within yourself. So not really necessarily letting another man dictate how you operate and run your life. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so the code of the street, there are certain things that are common amongst everybody. No snitching. You know what I'm saying? Never run out on your homie. You know what I mean? don't never back down from conflict. All these different types of things, right? But then there's another thing too, where you don't allow nobody to disrespect you. Your G homie, your big brother, nobody. You know what I mean? Because once you allow one person to do it, then another person gonna feel like they can do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it's just gonna, it's gonna be out of control. So for us, we always stand up for ourselves, no matter what. I don't give a fuck if it's 10 dudes outside that's calling me out to fight. I got to fight all 10 of them. You know what I mean? And that's just the way it is. That's why LA is the way LA is, because we don't allow that shit. Like, no, can't nobody put no fear in my heart. I don't give a fuck how big you is. I don't care how big your muscles is, how tall you are, how hard you punch. You're gonna have to punch. You're gonna have to do all that shit to me. Like, you're gonna have to use the muscles. You're gonna have to use that hard ass punch and knock me out, because I ain't running from you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how you get your respect.
Hey man,
You know?
I gotta get some of your juice, because I thought some people were trying to shoot me. I was hiding in the house in my mom's house for like 2 weeks. Cause I swear to God, I swear to God, man. Hey man, I was in the house for like damn near a month, man. I thought some people were trying to, they were just fucking with me, but I thought they were trying to kill me, right? And I was hiding inside the house, cause I've been shot at before, but when it's so tripped out, cause it's so much adrenaline you get when you get you know.
Yeah, I got shot before. That shit is not fun, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I got, man, because I don't be scared to fight people, man, but I thought these people were trying to kill me, man. I was scared as hell, man.
Anybody that if somebody's trying to kill you, it's not gonna be a fun thing for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you feel that way, so don't take it twisted. And you can't be stupid. Just because people are gangsters and all that, I mean, they don't want to die. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to feel no bullets in their body or get shot or hurt. You know what I mean? So it's not to be a foolish person and to run into a hell of bullets or nothing, like, just kill me. You know what I mean? Like, that's a foolish thing to do. The smart thing would be, if somebody's trying to kill you, you know what I'm saying, to put yourself in a position to where you can defend yourself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that ain't got nothing to do with being scary or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't allow somebody to kill you. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
You try to get them first. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're talking about, man. It's in a general sense, because when I see LA, like, that city Lenox, is a small city called Lenox.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I remember I walked to the store up there to buy a beer, and I could kind of see it. They had a lot of cholos out there. And they were looking at me. Now, I'm mixed, but I can kind of pass as Hispanic at some time if I have my hair short. And they were kind of looking at me like, like, where are you from? What are you doing here? I can kind of see they had that tough look. They were waiting for me to challenge them so they could, like, come at me. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
And that sort of showed me what LA was about. Like, you go to East LA, places like City Terrace, Lincoln Heights. I mean, people, you guys out there be ready for conflict,
Yeah, I mean, it's a stupid thing if you ask me, man, because, like I said, I'm older now. I see things from a different perspective. And I think it's dumb for men to always be hostile with each other, no matter where the fuck you at. You know what I mean? Like, where does it get you at the end of the day?
Yeah.
To challenge another man, like, that has done nothing to you. Like, you somebody walking to the store, you're not from nowhere. Challenge you for what?
Right.
That's a foolish mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I can appreciate about traveling now. Like, people in other places don't even have to deal with that. They don't even know what that's like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they don't even have a clue about these different types of mentalities. They be like, you tell them stories and they be like, what? Like, they try to make sense of it, because it doesn't make sense. And like, that's the thing about now that I'm older. Is like, man, being tough ain't about all of those little things. You know what I mean? It's not about all these little nuances that we have in LA and elsewhere. Like, it's really stupid, because it brings more drama into your community than help it. It's like, everybody would tell you from a gang that they love their hood, but they probably destroyed their hood more than helped it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, with the negativity.
Selling drugs, with all the negativity. You know what I'm saying? Shooting. Probably done shot some innocent people. Probably got bullet holes in your neighbor's house. You know what I'm saying? Like that's more you destroying it. So how do you really love something if you hurting it?
And
You know
that
what I mean? It's backwards in a lot of senses. You know what I mean?
exactly, man. And I remember I was listening to there was a dude, I forget his name. He was from South Central. I think Bunchy Carter. He
Yeah, definitely.
he was like one of the he was trying to form the L.A. Black Panther chapter,
Mhm.
and it was and they were doing positive things like trying to feed the children and do things like that, and
Right.
and it seems like when they got rid of all the guys like him, the leader type people, that's sort of when the negativity really came into
That's what usually happens.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they allow that to fester. You know, they allow negativity to fester because honestly, right now, if they wanted to stop gangs in LA, they really could.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But they want it that way. They want conflict to be in these areas. You know what I'm saying? Where people are already having it hard as it is. Because one thing you got to think about, there will be hard to have gangs in places where poverty is not so rampant. It would be hard to make a gang in these type of places where everybody is full, everybody going to school. You know, they going to school, they're not hungry, they not worried about what's going to happen when they get out of school. You know, they ain't worried about, oh, I got to catch a bus over through these neighborhoods. You know what I mean? Like all these different type of things that you have to worry about when you come from the inner city. You might have to go to school hungry. You know, some people in high school don't even get lunch money for school. You know, can you imagine being 17 years old and you can't buy nothing at nutrition time at school?
Yeah, that's
You can't
horrible.
buy that's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of the inner city where I come from. You know, so it's easy for a person like that to gravitate towards a gang when they see these dudes over here, they gang banging, but they making money. They selling crack. So if I go join them, I can get me a sack and stand on the block and make some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then
so that those type of situations create the atmosphere.
And the amazing
You know,
and the amazing thing is, you can be from a place like Compton or South Central, and it's not that far away. I mean, a place like Beverly Hills really isn't that far away.
It's 10 minutes away.
Yeah, and everybody gets some of these people. They get out of college. I mean, they get out of high school. Some of them get like a brand new Ferrari or something. Some of the
yeah, I mean they come from they come from money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These people come from money, so they don't even know what it's like, man, to starve. They don't know what it's like to be thirsty. They don't know what it's like to go to school and not have everybody laugh at you because you don't have new clothes for the new school year. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know that. So when they look, when they look towards the inner city, they be like, those people are stupid. You know, they gang banging and but you don't know the atmosphere. You don't know the reason why people would make a gang as a choice. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the same type of problems that they have. It's like my son. My son started trying to be, my youngest son.
Mm-hmm.
He started trying to gravitate towards that, but he ain't go through none of the type of life that I've been through. He never went, he always had his own room for one. I shared my room with 3 other brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, his mom ain't been on welfare, you know what I'm saying? My mom been on welfare most of me and my brother's lives. You know, we didn't have our father around. You know what I'm saying? I'm his father. I've always been in his life. Other the time when I was in prison, but he got me. I'm accessible to him all the time. You know what I mean? He ain't never starved. You know what I'm saying? He ain't never went without eating. He ain't never went without water, lights, electricity, clothes, like all the things that me and my brothers experienced coming up. You know, so what makes you want to gravitate towards gang life?
Yeah. Well, hey man,
when you don't got none of those experiences. Like for us, it was different. You know, we know what poverty feels like. We used to get those blocks of cheese and all that shit. We had to go to get free lunch at the, you know what I'm saying, in the summertime at the park. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you and Drayster growing up.
Yeah, me, Drayster, I got another brother 2 years younger than me, and my baby brother at the time. You know what I'm saying? He rest in peace, but yeah.
Yeah.
We all experienced that shit.
You know what, man? I got to hand it to you because fortunately, I never had to go through nothing like that. But I always, when I was growing up, I always had friends like that, and I could see like my parents. They would always buy me clothes and stuff like that. So, I mean, I wasn't spoiled, but I always had exactly what I needed. You know,
Exactly.
but the other kids around me, I had friends who had to sell dope just to buy shoes to go back to school.
Absolutely right.
They,
I was one of them.
yeah, they had to,
Hmm.
and they wouldn't have 100 sacks. They'd have to take $20, go get three for 20, then sell those three, then go get,
Right.
then go get eight for 40 or something, and sell those eight.
Right.
And,
Right.
and it was tripped out watching that because they had to work 3 and 4 times harder than me just to get through life.
Absolutely right.
You,
Absolutely right.
you know, and
And that's what people don't understand, man. And it's like, it's easy for people to point the finger at. It's like right now, like I'm older now, so I see things differently, like I've been saying. So, and it's like, it's a lot of things about where I come from and the things that I've even done and been through in my life now that I think is so silly to me. Like right now, when I see young people that's gang banging now, and I just think like, damn, y'all didn't watch our generations and see all the bullshit we went through. Like, what makes you want to go through that? Like, we lost a gang of our friends that we grew up with. A lot of them is in jail. A lot of them is dead, and now everybody is snitching. You know what I'm saying? So, what makes you want to go put your life in that type of environment? Like, why would you want to just go? Like, you basically saying that go to loser crowd. Let me go join it. Because gangs are not attractive no more. It's not an attractive thing.
mhm,
When I was coming up, it was kind of attractive because it was a lot of money around.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? I come up in the '80s, so it was a lot of fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Now it's not like that. So what makes you want to do it now when it's just so all the ethics are gone out of it? You know what I mean? So what would make you want to go join that now? Like it's not even attractive no more.
plus the penalties, it got more.
The penalties is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're
The
passing out.
penalties are that's the worst part about it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like so it's like I don't even know why people are still gravitating towards that even in today. Like it's 2016. Like get the fuck out of here. Like so like now I see all that shit is so fucking horrible, man. Like I see it as like it's such a disgusting thing to me now. You know what I mean? Like I can understand how I got caught up because it was a lot of glitz and glamour. You know what I'm saying? And then my family was already doing it before I was born. So when I came into the world, I kind of was like bred into it. There was nothing I could do about that. But now for people to run to that now it's just for me it's just like fuck. Do you even have a brain in your head?
you
Because it's so ugly. You know?
you know what, man? You're the first rapper I've got to sit down and talk to, and actually hear that somebody who's come from the level you're at to say that, because a lot of the guys on the East Coast and down south, they're claiming to be Bloods and Crips, and they never were, but they're promoting the image and selling it to youngsters
Right.
and making millions off it.
Right. And that's a shame. It's really shameful to me, bro.
Y- 'cause-
Because it's like it's like kind of how I see like I kind of compare it to how the nation, if you heard of the Nation of Islam.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the Nation of Islam was created in the 40s initially, right?
Mhm.
And we all know how black people had it in that time. You know what I'm saying? So the nation was created to kind of offset black people having a lack of self-esteem for themselves and to give them some kind of dignity for themselves and to do for themselves this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so at that time, okay, there's a justification for the nation at that time, even though um, the core they say that they're Muslims, right?
Mhm.
Their beliefs is totally opposite from what real Muslims believe. But at that time, okay, we can make an argument for the 40s, the 50s, even the 60s. But to come from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s to the 2000s and still saying that the nation is relevant when it doesn't even have the same belief system as the real Muslims, and for you to still be preaching that today, to me, in my opinion, not the part about having black people having self esteem and doing for themselves. All that's all good. That always be relevant to the end of time, if you ask me.
Mhm.
But to say that for them not to come into mainstream Islam after all this time, is kind of ridiculous to me. And for anybody to go and join that group is kind of ridiculous. So I compare that the same way I do with people that's running to gangs now, because there's no excuse for it no more. Because gangs, you know, even though, like I said, there's good things in it, you know, teaching you to be a man, teaching you, you know, self-respect, teaching you to, you know, not let people run over you. And, you know, and just to have brotherly love, because gangs, you know, it's like being in a fraternity. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's from your gang, you're supposed to love and care about and help, and, you know what I'm saying, and just respect. So there's some good things about it, but I'm saying, like, nowadays, all that is gone. Like, people from the same gang kill each other. They do it all the time now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do it all the time. Like, it's so out of control.
Red Rum was...
Huh?
I'll say, you know who you ever heard of Red Rum?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, Red Rum was on the internet talking about how all the he was saying that a group, the Pyro group and the Blood group were killing each other.
It's been that way for a long time.
Right.
It's been that way for all the Crips. Like, even during my era, all my enemies was really mainly Crips.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Bloods is a given. You know, blue and red, okay, that's a given. But we wasn't concentrating on killing Bloods. We was concentrating on killing other Crips. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's how twisted everything has gotten. Like, it's that fucking backwards. But when you're so deep in it, you don't even think like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't even understand. Like, you really just killing yourself. You might as well just hang yourself, really. You know what I mean? And to join a gang nowadays is basically what you're doing. You basically committing slow suicide.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get put in a situation where you're going to be compromised. You know what I'm saying? You can get shot and killed. And for what? You can end up in jail with a life sentence. And for what? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can end up killing an innocent person. And for what? For what?
And there's more options available today.
There's way more options available today.
Yeah.
Way more.
You can go to college on the internet now. You can go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and I know Malcolm. I think in Malcolm's era, he started to embrace the the original version of Islam.
Absolutely, because he didn't really know at that time.
Right.
He didn't really know because they wasn't, the way the nation was, they got this thing, you know, and that's the thing about organized anything, you know, because they teach you not to question the leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So Malcolm was not going to question Elijah Muhammad. He was not going to question the people who was his leaders. So what Elijah did back in those days, he wouldn't allow them to read the Quran. He didn't let them read that. He wanted to dictate to him what was in the book. So if more people back then would have got a Quran and read it for themselves, they would have known that all the stuff that Elijah was telling them was a lie. They would have known it already. But because they got this thing to where you don't question leadership, they just kind of like obeyed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But most people would have seen that most of that shit was a lie.
And there's a lot of peace that comes with Islam because people have in their mind that people who are Muslims are usually hostile, but a lot of the people I've met seem to be very peaceful.
There's nothing, man. You know, it's easy to say that when you've made people hostile. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you go get people hostile and riled up, and then once they do get riled up and become hostile, then you want to say, look at these people. But no, Islam doesn't make people that way. You know what I'm saying? Islam, it really brings a lot of calmness and tranquility to the individual when they practice it properly. You know what I mean? And it only makes you want to do good. Islam ain't never made me want to do nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Because it teaches you to fear God. Like, you're supposed to fear God more than man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and God only wants us to do good. He only wants us to promote things that are good for us. You know, for us to kill an animal without a just cause in Islam is bad, let alone a fucking human being. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're not even supposed to go hunting in Islam unless you're doing it because you need food. So to go hunting for a sport in Islam is a blatant sin. To just go and shoot animals just because you got a rifle, and you know what I mean? Like, come on. So you can't even do that to animals. So what that tells you about human life? You understand what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about the West. Over here, we've been like sort of trained that human life doesn't mean much anymore. You
Oh,
know?
because they've shown it over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? The way this country was created. You know, they exterminated a whole bunch of human life in order to get this continent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, these people are the most hypocritical people that I've ever seen, and it's probably because I'm right here with them. But you know, they'll do all the crazy shit. It was like I was watching the president of the union, the last president of the union speech from Obama, and he basically said that when you come after Americans, we're gonna come after you and we're gonna kill you. That's a gang mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then they'll take us to jail for having that kind of mentality, though.
He's up there banging, huh?
So, yeah, like come on, bro. So you know these people, they'll tell you, you know, they'll promote one thing, but they'll do it at the same time. They'll say this is bad, but they'll be doing it in the meanwhile. But because we're not them, oh, when we do it, we're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Do you think
that's America?
Do you think because back in the day you didn't see the white culture seem to be doing a lot better in the middle class? Now when you look at the white culture, you're seeing more drug addicts, more crackheads. Things like people in the middle class white culture seems to be falling apart compared to what.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and that's the reason why I think that they try to come down harder on drugs and things like that, and was prosecuting it so hard for so long, is because once it started reaching their communities and stuff like that, then that's when it was an issue. But when it was only in the black community, they didn't really give a fuck.
Right.
It was like, smoke all the dope you want. You know what I mean? But when it started, you know, it's never an issue what goes on in this country until it reached their community.
Yeah.
Like, when it reached their community, that's when they started losing it. They started making all this policy against it and shit like that.
You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you how sneaky white people are, right? I got into it with some white people on the internet, and I had made a video kind of dissing them on the internet, and some woman that lives by me, she took the video and went back and showed all my neighbors, and all my neighbors are mainly white people, and they were kind of like sneakily talking about behind my back and all that stuff, and the whole time they're waving at me and shit like nothing happened, but the whole time, you know, that's how sneaky. But in the black community, somebody would have came up to me and said, "Man, you know,"
they would have confronted you about it.
They would have said, "Man, you're crazy. You take that bullshit down." You know what I mean?
Right.
But
absolutely.
But in the white community, people, and one dude might be a police officer, one dude might work at wherever he works at, and they're playing it off like there's nothing wrong, but they're really the real criminals. You know what I mean?
You motherfucking right.
Yeah.
Because see, the best criminal is the one who the one nobody suspects. So that's how white privilege, they have it like that. So it's easy for them. They're not under suspicion. You know, every time the police see 4 white guys in a car driving up the street, they're not going to get pulled over.
Nope.
So they can get further with crime. You know, if I was white, I'd probably be the biggest criminal. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Yeah.
I'd probably be the biggest criminal, like on my side of town, because the police ain't looking at me. You know what I mean?
And you know what, man? I thought, you know, because I'm mixed, it tripped me out. They look at me the same way. They'll be like, they'll smile at me in my face, but if I'm doing business deals and stuff like that, and back in their mind, they'll always look at me as just being like a stupid Negro that they could take advantage of. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, that's just the way, you know.
Like in their
It's unfortunate, man, the way they think.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate the way they think about other people, man, but all white people ain't bad, but you know what I mean?
That's true.
It's the mentality that they've given off to the rest of the world, man, about people of color. It's a horrible thing. It's like so ugly, you know what I mean? Because they even have Asians looking at us the same way. You know, black people are bad. They have Hindi people from India and all this Pakistani people looking at us like everybody black is criminal. You know what I mean? And it's just not the case.
But you know what, man? You know, it's kind of funny because if you go down to Koreatown or an Asian neighborhood, they try to put on suits and they try to act like they're like mainstream white people. But the government had put Japanese people in concentration camps during World War II.
They absolutely did. They absolutely did.
Right.
But you know, but they also got compensated for it.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's
Everybody who's ever been, had injustice against them like that has all gotten something back, but black folks.
Yeah.
We're the only ones who they ain't even apologized to us. They ain't even made an apology to us for slavery. So that lets you know.
Yeah, that goes back what Spike Lee was talking about that 40 acres and a mule. That was that.
Yeah,
that was a promise that never went through. 200-300 years ago.
That's how they feel, man. That's how the motherfuckers really feel, and I'm not surprised about it. You know what I mean? But that ought to lit a fire under people of color. You know what I'm saying? Black people in particularly. Like that should have all lit a fire up under us and made us go even harder to respect ourselves and come together and do for our own self.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, because we know that they're not gonna give us anything, even after wronging us. They're not gonna compensate us for that.
Nothing. And they
you know what I mean?
They want you to always have their permission for something. Anytime you try to do something yourself, they think you have to have their blessing for it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that should make us even go harder to unify. You know what I'm saying? That's what a smart person would do. Me thinking now, like I said, as an older person, as a more mature person, that makes me want to stick together even more because we really need each other. Like they're not going to do it for us. They're not even going to help us a little bit. So we need to do it for ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if we did stick together and come together and do for ourselves, we can make these motherfuckers pay us. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can make them apologize. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you see somebody from India, they'll come over here and they won't have nothing, man, and they'll get a loan and get a liquor store and have like a new car.
See, they give foreigners that more so than their own kind.
Yeah.
They do that. I don't even understand that shit. For the life of me, I don't get it. I really don't get that.
I don't either.
That shit is crazy.
I don't either, because a lot of the stores, you'll notice, like I'm sure where you're at, you'll notice a lot of people will be like, Korean people or Hindu people or something
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's Arabs, Korean or Hindu people.
Right.
It's rarely somebody of color over here. I don't even see white people with stores. Like, not with liquor stores. They probably got the malls and all this shit, like the big high-end stores. But I don't even see them owning liquor stores, really.
Yeah. What do you think about, like, the dude, he's a new dude that came along, and it really surprised me, Nipsey Hussle. I didn't see that coming. Was that surprising for like, did you feel surprised by that, too?
About Nipsey?
Yeah.
Surprised in what way?
Well, I'm really proud of him. He's done very well for himself. But I had never heard of him before that. I had never heard of him like on the underground or a mixtape or nothing. And then he came along and came out with that song. I forget what it was about. It was about Crenshaw or something. But he done very well for himself, and he had blew up. And I was wondering, was he real known like in L.A. before that? Like, was he already?
Nipsey young. I mean, he might be known amongst his generation.
Right.
Nipsey younger than me.
Yeah.
So I can't really speak about, like, far as his street cred and stuff like that. But I've known him. I did see him putting in work before people knew who he was. So he did pay his dues. He didn't just pop up all of a sudden. I mean, to somebody like you probably would have thought that because you way out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I seen Nipsey grind from the bottom, before everybody knew who he was. So he did pay his dues.
Yeah. Hey, man, you know what? I can see you having a movie, an actual movie about your story, man.
Man, my story is deeper than anybody really, really know.
Right.
Like, people don't really, really know it. It's way deeper than what people know from the music. So, yeah, for sure. I would love that.
It might be too raw for a little bit. You have to water it down. It might be too raw for TV, huh?
No, I would never water my story down because I think that takes away from the value of it. You know what I mean? Like, I would tell my shit just the way it needs to be told, with every detail.
Yeah. And
if it was up to me.
And I saw you on there, man. I love that, man. I saw you rapping with Lil Easy. You guys were up on stage on YouTube. I saw that.
Yeah, that's like my family, man. Like
Yeah.
Easy's kids is like them dudes like my nephews, bro. Like I got real genuine love for them because I know they all really got a bad deal, you know?
Right.
Like
Right.
there's no way that Easy's kids should be in the position that they're in right now, man, after all their father had accomplished. Like that shit hurts my heart, bro.
Yeah.
For them. You know what I'm saying? For them. Like it really hurts me. Like that shit is horrible to me, bro.
I was hoping he could get to play Easy on the NWA film.
I was too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But they got, Dr. Dre has a son looks just like him, man, from Compton. He didn't find out Dr. Dre was his dad till a little bit later.
He's not from Compton, but I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
It's Curtis.
Yeah.
I fuck with Curtis too.
Yeah, that tripped me out, man. He was on TMZ. He was on TMZ at the airport, and they were like, "Where's your private jet? Where's all this stuff?" And he was like,
Right.
It just,
That's cold for them to do that, man, because
yeah, that was
everybody knows that, Dre don't really fuck with him.
mm-hmm.
They don't fuck with his son like that, which he should. But I don't know, man. I don't understand. I don't understand the way people operate these days, bro. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you know how the media is. They always try to spark something up.
Mhm.
What,
But
man, hey, bro, I really appreciate you taking the time out to do this with me tonight. I look forward to trying to, connect with you in the future. Maybe we can do something later on in the future.
yeah, for sure.
But I heard that. I just want to say I heard that Nutty by Nature, and
Okay.
that was dope, man.
I appreciate it.
That was dope. Do you have anything like do you have any thing you want to say to people that so they can connect to you further when they hear? Because some people might not know. Because I do a lot of conspiracy stuff, and so a lot of people might be sort of like they never really heard you before. What would you want them to know? I mean, like to connect with you. You got a website.
Basically, I mean, everybody can follow me on all my social networks, like, BG Knockout on it's BG Knockout _ on Twitter, on what is it? Damn, something that should be eluding me.
On Facebook or
on Facebook, Hassan Ben Hinton is one of my Facebooks. BG Nation is another one, and then I have what is it called? Fuck, what is this? Let me see this shit. Hold on. Yeah, Instagram. Instagram is bgknock.out. So people can follow me there, man. Like I talk to my fans for the most part. People ask me questions all the time about this and that or whatever, and I usually interact with people. But all my music is on iTunes.
mm-hmm.
Real Brothers, the first album that me and my brother did. All the things we did with Eazy-E is on iTunes. Real motherfucking G's. Gangsta Beat for the Street, old school shit. All that shit is on iTunes. And then I have Eazy-E's Protege is my solo project. That's on iTunes. Nutty by Nature, my solo project, is on iTunes. I have a couple of group collaborations, Block Boys and STLA. All that shit is on iTunes. So if people want to, get a dose of some real raw West Coast music, it's definitely there for people to listen to. And then I also want people to understand, too, that music is for entertainment purposes. Like, don't take the shit literally. If you hear somebody talking some gangster shit, and you're a kid or a young person, don't go out and try to be a thug, too. Take it for what it is, man. Use it as entertainment. Listen to it. Bob your head, have fun. But don't take it to try to imitate it. Because I don't do music for people to try to imitate what I do, or imitate the lyrics in the music. You know what I'm saying? It's for entertainment purposes only, and, let it stay there. Let the music stay right there on the record. You know what I mean? Don't try to go out and start a gang or join a gang. Like, that shit is stupid to me. You know what I mean? People don't make music for you to go and try to imitate the lyrics. Like, they're basically telling you their story, or they're relating to you something that you probably didn't know about. You know what I mean? So,
right.
that would be my advice to people, man. Take it for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Because definitely I'm not. I come from out of the gang life, all of that. I've been in prison for 10 years. I've been shot. All these different things, but I don't want that to happen to nobody else just because it happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out there doing drive-bys in 2016. You know, yeah, sometimes I do roll with my gun and all that, and that's only because sometimes I still be in hostile environments and shit like that. But other than that, I'm not out here gang banging. I don't got my pants sagging off my ass. I ain't got blue rags everywhere out of all my back pockets. You know what I mean? Like, I don't live my life like that. Like, I'm a man. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur, and I'm just trying to live life, live and let live. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I want better things for me and my family. So that's what I'm on. You know what I mean? And that's what I would hope that any young person, no matter what color, where they come from, would want for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Live and let live, man. Like when you watch a movie, when you watch Terminator, you watch all these different movies that you see, the Avengers, you ain't finna go and try to fly through the sky or, you know what I mean? It's a fucking movie. It's entertainment. Music is the same thing, so that would be my advice to people.
Hey man, that was wonderful, man. I gotta say, I've never heard anybody who coming from the level you're on rap actually say something like that. And so
Yeah,
that that's pretty strong, man. And your name's written in stone. I mean, they can, you most of the things people rap about, you actually lived, you know.
absolutely.
And so, hey man, before we go, I just want to ask, do you have any? Is there any unreleased music out there of you guys from back in the day?
I'm sure it is, bro.
Yeah,
Like I've been hearing certain shit like just popping up here and there, but yeah, I'm sure it is, man.
yeah,
I'm sure it's a lot of it too, and I can't tell you
right.
offhand like exactly what it is and titles and shit like that because usually when we kicked it back in the day, it would be just on some chilling shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we would be in the studio. The studio would be like having a trap or something in the hood.
Hmm.
Like a house that everybody come to and kick it at. It's usually like that. So there's a lot of times we were high, we were drunk. You know what I mean? And we probably recorded songs and just fucking didn't remember because we ain't heard it in all these years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm sure it's some shit over there somewhere.
Most definitely, bro. Hey, man. Hopefully, you know what, man. I'm gonna stay in contact. I hope we can do something again. Maybe we can even do something in person someday. You
Yeah,
know?
whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like you're a cool dude, man. I respect you. You always been respectable about the way the way you got at me and asked me to even do this. So definitely, man, I got a lot of respect for you, and I'll be looking forward to working with you in the future.
All right, hey, man. Thanks, bro. Nothing but love and respect here.
For
Well,
sure.
all right, man. Well, I hope you have a good night, and I look forward to talking to you again.
All right, brother. You
All
have
right.
a good one.
You too, man. Stay up.
All right.
All right.
Peace.